Góðan daginn, and welcome to the Pretty Pal. So, first off, my name is Gunnhildur. I'm an Icelander, live in Iceland. This is my Pretty Pal, my podcast about yarn, about knitting, crocheting, anything else that I discover about yarn, like fibers, because I need to share. I also talk quite a bit about the weather because it affects everything, and I am a stereotypical Icelander who needs to talk about the weather because weather. So yeah, so I didn't make last weekend I did not make a podcast, because I somehow listen, I'm on my summer vacation right now, so I'm mostly just staying at home, like, yeah. I have not made any plans for any traveling. I was thinking about it, but you know, the pandemic thing, and I'm not really overly excited about traveling right now, so we'll see. But so far I've been staying at home, mostly, so not having a lot of interaction with people outside my family. Like, I think I met maybe 2 or 3 people. Not in like close quarters or anything. I've met, I think I've stopped to talk to maybe 1 or 2 people in the store in the past like 3 weeks. And yet, somehow, I don't know how, I managed to catch a nasty stomach bug that is going around my town. So yeah, last, let's see, Friday, that would have been on the 6th of August, I was so sick, you guys. I haven't been that sick in just so long. Like, this is the 2nd time this year that I've gotten sick. Got a slight cold, like, what was it, in April or March or something? I can't quite remember, but like, I had slight, cold then. Plus the side effects from my first still cannot pronounce that word. Whacking. I can't pronounce that word. Whacking. What's in nature? What? I can't. It's a stinky bee. But yeah, slightly annoying, drawn out, but bearable. Last weekend was difficult. But yeah, I have not been that sick in just decades. Like, I thought I was gonna pass out in the bathroom. Just first thing in the morning, I just roll out the best I can out of my room, and I can't run. I had to shuffle to the bathroom, trying not to throw up while everything is going let's not. And then every moment is really slow because you do not have the energy to do anything, and I'm just trying very slowly to grab the sink right next to me so I have something to hold on to, and then somehow manage to do the things that I need to do and get to the sink, and I just about to pass out, and I remember looking up into the mirror and seeing my face. And the first thought in my silly mind, listen, you know how silly you can be, right? I am perfectly aware that I am an extremely silly human being. Because I have fever, I am extremely sick at this point. The thought I was thinking just moments before, if I pass out, the door is locked, and they're probably gonna have to like take the door off its hinges or something. Then I look up onto my face that is just like absolutely greyish white paleness, and only thought in my mind is, oh, so that's what I look like when I have single color all over my face. And that's just I can laugh about it now. I'm like, dear Lord, you're about to pass out, and the only thing you're thinking is, my face is a singular color. That's interesting. Silly brain. But the good thing about, as nasty as stomach bugs are, and all that, you don't have an appetite or anything. At least I could hold down water, which is, always a good thing. Okay, I think I'm done. But also, there was a spike in heat and then just drop in temperature and like all that nastiness. But the good thing about stomach bugs is that usually they pass by quickly. But yeah, I didn't make a podcast last weekend because of that, and also because I am kind of stuck. Like, I'm not stuck. I made the decision that when I make podcasts, they are for the weekends. Just that's my weekend thing. Even when I'm on vacation, it's just weekends are podcast. Whether or not I have anything to talk about, that's a completely different subject. But podcasts are on the weekend, so yay. Understandably, didn't really have understandably. Well, haven't really done much on knitting and crocheting past week. 2 weeks actually. I've been trying to do a bit of reading, and I did start on this book. Survival friendly is like a bit of a different take on, instead of survival of the fittest, with Darwin's very, very famous theory, or adage, or whatever you want to call it, that very famously has been absolutely taken out of context and out of what he was actually talking about. Like, when you hear people nowadays talk about, oh well, survival of fittest, and people being like not nice. I want to use very, very different words right now, but I'm gonna say not nice. It's actually absolutely counter to what Charles Darwin was talking about. Like, he was not talking about people being inhumane. Let's just put out that. He was not talking about that. But so this book, it came out last year actually. It's somehow, I don't know why, but that somehow surprised me, because I usually end up buying books that are like a few years out. So having a book that's fairly recently published is unusual for me. And I only realized that it was fairly recently published because this is I do believe written by Americans. I think so. Yeah, it doesn't really matter, I think. Yeah. It's published by Random House in New York. Anyway, so it doesn't really matter, but there was some like slight political like points, or slight shots fired, let's put it like that. That kind of made me go. I mean, not bad. Wait, but it kind of just felt fresh. But that's not what the book is about. I keep putting away. Excuse me a moment. I laughed too much earlier. But yeah, this book is so interesting because it is. Well, Is it sociology? Is it psychology? Is it... I think it's sociology. So this is understanding our origins and rediscovering our common humanity, and it's literally about how being friendly has made us the species that we are. I'm not really far in. I'm only on like, what is it, chapter... I am only at chapter 2. But so far, very interesting book when I have the presence of brain to read it. But like, I've been somewhat looking forward to reading this book because it's a different take. Be still. It's a different take on the usual, what we've been taught, like, or you know, when some people try to brainwash us into thinking that this type of thinking is the only right one, and yada yada yada, and you know, you then get really, really tired of hearing the same old, and so that is one of the books that I'm reading. I'm thinking, haha. I've also been reading a little bit about Terry Pratchett again. I put it up there. Why did I put it up there? Should I add book reviews? Because now I'm just talking about books. But this, Terry Pratchett, Slip of the Keyboard. Yes. If you're a Terry Pratchett fan, yes. So these are the a collection of the articles that he wrote, you know, throughout the years. That was such a smart way of putting it. It has a foreword by Neil Gaiman. Neil Gaiman and Terry Pratchett, they were good friends. So two of my favorite authors. Terry Pratchett is absolutely my #1 forever and ever, my absolute favorite author of all times. Period. He will forever sit in that throne. Neil Gaiman, yeah, he's up there. He's up there. But yeah, if you are a Terry Pratchett fan or want to know more about him, yeah, this is just in his own words. Like, he talks about a lot of things, and this did bring into perspective. Like, I've been reading Terry Pratchett since I want to say about 1998. I want to. I think that's around the time that my brother introduced me to Terry Pratchett, and yeah, I did pick it up. I do remember that because when I started, so I don't know quite the vocabulary to use right here because the school system in Iceland is obviously a little bit different from what is in like English-speaking countries. And in Iceland we have grunnskóli, which is from, you could call it like base school. It's from ages of 6 up to 16. After that we have mentaskóli, which there's mentaskóli that back in my day was from 16 up to like 20. I think it's now to 19, so you know, we had 4 years to finish like a certain curriculum, certain requirements, and now kids have to finish that same thing in like 3 years. It's like, for heaven's sake, education should take time. You should not just push it. And then we got university háskóli. But yeah, when I was in mentaskóli, so like 16, 17. Yeah, 16, 17. Obviously I had my English classes, and I made the terrible discovery that my English was too good. And that is not a humble brag, that is... It was absolutely horrible. because finding out that your English is too good and you can't skip forward. I had to literally suffer 2 years of English that was below my abilities in order to get the grades and get the points so that I could graduate. And 2 years of having to show up to class and be bored and not be able to do something else because I had to literally suffer through English class in order to get to a point that was at my level. And then actually making and I'm not kidding, the not terrifying, but the kind of crossing realization that I knew more English than the English teacher. And that was like, that is not a humble brag, that is depressing. And that's because of Terry Pratchett. So obviously I kept up my reading of English literature, including Terry Pratchett and others. I wasn't going to dump my knowledge down to this level. I'm just like, no. So oh yeah, I took 2 English classes one year. That was fun. Yeah, that was easy. Later on, we also actually got a teacher who was English, so I could actually be on the level that my English was at. That was fun. But the Icelandic English teacher that we had in the beginning, he knew English, but he didn't know English, which is more where my interests start to gravitate towards. Yeah, start going that direction. And as I said, it was Terry Pratchett that made me realize that I knew more English than my English teacher, and the person being paid to teach us English. Because obviously it took me some thinking later on. But the thing is that a lot of people, including that particular teacher, were interested in English simply as a language, simply as a communication, and that's fine. But my interest in English language, because of this wonderful human being, was why English? Why is English the way it is? Why is this turn of phrase? Why is it, why do you say ring around the rosy? Where did that come from? Apparently a lot of people do not know that, and that's fine. There are theories, but we don't know. Why do people say upper crust and lower crust? And that is the phrase that made me realize that my teacher didn't know English at the level that I was expecting him to. And that was upper crust and lower crust. He actually, I think I got a I'm trying to remember decade back in, 3 years back in time. But I'm not saying I got scolded, but he honestly believed that he knew more English than his student, which is inaccurate. He did not know more about English than I did. I used the phrase upper crust and lower crust in some capacity, and he was not about it being an actual phrase in English. And I point out that Terry Pratchett used it, and he gets that snobbish kind of look on his face, which still irritates me to this day. And he says, well, that's Terry Pratchett. Luckily, I was smart enough to not push this subject, but I'm still, at that age, I'm thinking, Terry Pratchett is English. He's an English writer. You are an Icelandic wannabe musician. Who do you think I'm gonna trust more to tell me about English turn of phrase? the Englishman or the Iceland. I'm gonna go with the Englishman, but okay, you're the person controlling my grade. I'm gonna shut up and not talk about it. But I'm gonna talk about it on a video about yarn 20 years later. Anyway, so yes, I'm trying to remember where I was gonna go with this. The person who taught me the most about the English language and just the history of the Isles was Terry Pratchett, because I mean there's a lot of history just in his books. I should probably make a different video about Terry Pratchett one of these days, because I know that I'm now on a roll and I need to start talking about things that I was going to talk about in this video, but I maybe should make a separate video about Terry Pratchett because he's my favorite. Ah, no. So, about yarn. So, I did make a video past week. I made the video on Wednesday. So, obviously on Wednesday I was feeling a lot better. Where's my hair wet? Did I spill my drink on my hair? Okay, well, you know you have hair when you're spilling a drink on it. So obviously on Wednesday I was feeling a lot better after, you know, spending, well, mostly Friday and then Saturday being not good. So I had some packages on the post office, so I went over there and got my stuff, and including a box from Hobby. And it couldn't have been a better timing, honestly. So I did order Hobby. I'm sorry. Hobby. No, I love Hobby, but I did make the order from Hobium. So I placed the order for Hobium on the 28th of July, and that was after I saw, I wasn't going to, like, I was going to be like really, really good about not ordering more yarn this summer, because Lord knows I have so much for it. But Krista from Bag or Day Crochet, I saw her video and she made a really nice short one just letting us all know that there was a sale on Hobium, and I'm like, there's yarn there that I really was interested in, and I'm like, I was waiting for a sale, so obviously I made the order, because, I mean, I say obviously because I made a video of it. And that was fun. I'm fumbling with my hair. So, I mean, I'm so happy because out of all the yarn, so there are two yarns that I was absolutely excited about. It's the raffia. That is paper! Paper! And it's so funny because when you look at it, it's just like a paper bag. It's absolutely a paper bag that's like, you know, just in a thread. And that is so cool. And I know I have, still haven't, I haven't looked for it because it's somewhere in my stuff. I have somewhere in one of my crochet magazines, there is a pattern for, you know, a sun hat. No, like this type of thing. So something like that. And I know I have a pattern here somewhere. Also, there are like baskets and all those sort of things. And I do realize that, you know, there are so many beautiful colors of raffia that they have. These are the 50-gram. You don't call these skeins, do you? Do you call these skeins? I want to call them Sidelanders, because that's what they are. But yeah, there are so many lovely colors. I'm like, I'm gonna go for this. Boring. Because that just felt more interesting to me. I'm also really excited about the Macam. No, these little ones. The little ones, and right. big ones, like the colorful ones. Because there is a course on Domestika. Actually, fun thing about that, like, so I have some courses on Domestika that I'm aiming to take, you know, in the coming like days and weeks, and it's fine. It's fun. I also know there's masterclass that is, I think, American. There is, oh, what's the other one called? Starts with an S. Actually, yeah, can't remember that one, but there are like 3. Funny because I was, well, how was I introduced to Domestika? Domestika I saw first as an ad on a video about something that was, and that video was sponsored. That video was sponsored by Skillshare. So this video that's sponsored by Skillshare, which I need to check out, but they have like subscription things, so I'm not sure about that one, but we'll see. So on that video that is sponsored by Skillshare, I get an ad for Domestika. I'm like, I mean, okay, let's check out Domestika. So Domestika is like Spanish, and it has instructors that are Spanish and Portuguese and Argentinian. I'm like, okay, let's go there. Most of the courses aren't like Spanish, but I did find one instructor who presents himself in English, so all good. But I've started to get ads from other companies and that are like, you know, Skillshare based, or, you know, like Skillshare and Domestika. But the thing is that Skillshare does, you know, sponsors videos that brings attention to them, and I might actually check them out better. Domestika has ads that are very well, you know, produced and presented, and then this third one, I can't remember the name of it, but it's weird. Like, the ads feel more like hype train. It feels more like an MLM, you know? It feels more like, because it's the way it's presented, it's like, oh my god, like there's this woman just with a handheld camera going like this, like, oh my god, you know, I'm like, I'm not trusting them. Like, masterclass, the ads that I've seen recently have Gordon Ramsay being funny, because that guy can be absolutely hilarious. Skillshare has been, you know, the word I was using just a moment ago and I cannot remember. Has been sponsoring a lot of fantastic creators who then, you know, are using Skillshare and the things that they learn there to make better videos, better content, and I'm like, here for it. Domestika, good ads. This 4th company just, and that I think really tells us a lot about how ads, a presentation of, you know, how you present your company or your brand really influences the consumer, because this consumer is not interested in your wear. Why did I go off on that tangent? Why did I go off on this tangent? Anyway, so on Domestika I have here. I'm talking like someone who is sponsored by Domestika. I am not. I'm just really excited about the courses I'm going to take. So I finished. He says I haven't done anything. I've done one of the courses, and I'm still like, I mean, the material is. I need to do it again so I can just, you know, figure it out. But like, I found courses on making macrame, on making. What's it called? I went off on a tangent and I forgot half the words. It's like, yay. But yeah, I'm not going off on a tangent again about Domestika because I'm talking about yarn. So, yeah, I was talking about the macrame and about the raffia yarn because the yarn that I was absolutely the most excited about, and I've had my eye on since I found it first on Hobium like months and months ago, this, I'm so excited about this. It's the Fiber Natura Bamboo Bloom hand paints. And first off, the color, like these colors are just my favorite, absolute favorite. If it has like purples and lilacs in it, I'm going to go for it. Like, I may not wear it every single day or be the stereotypical, oh, I love this color therefore I wear it. No, I love this color therefore I want it in my environment. I want it around me. I want it within reach because I already have it in my soul. But these colors are just gorgeous. And also, like I did point it out in the my whole video, look at the variation in the width. Like, we go from, you know, fairly nicely thick, you know, even here that is even thinner, to absolute just, look at it. This feels more like a little bit like thick einband. So I actually have here, don't break. So this here is einband. This is Icelandic plated wool that is very, very lightly spun. It's not unspun. Okay, just so we're clear, this is not unspun. It's very, very lightly spun, so it can break fairly easily. But the projects that you get out of it are so light. They are warm because wool, but they are so light and nice. And you know, with like this type of, with like a band that is slightly spun, if you break the thread, you can marry the ends together by like kind of combing them back together. That's the wonderful thing about at least Icelandic wool, is that you can combine the threads again because of the two different type of strands. But yeah, I am seriously excited about this yarn because I don't know what I'm gonna make of it, but it's going to be something really interesting and nice. Like, also it's so warm. It is a combination. It's, you know, the rayon made out of the bamboo. It has wool. That's why it's so warm too. And yeah. But also, so in the bag, or you know, the box, I got a bag, a really, really nice, big, reusable bag, and all the yarn that I got fits in. I love it. Just, I love this bag. But turning to the things that I've been working on and the things I haven't worked on, let's just start with things that I have not been working on. But I'm still just at the very beginning of this scarf. It's just, I did not have the precision mind to be able to work with this fuzzy yarn. But I did get the bowl back, so this now lives in the pretty bowl. So I had to show you that because that's the only progress that this has made. It made it into a bowl. Let's see, I think I managed to knit like a single round on this shawl. So maybe I'll finish it next year. Now, I'm aiming to finish it this year. Mostly because, you know, I only have this much to finish. Like, there isn't that much left, but can't wait. But, you know, of course, with me and my brain, so I did show you a little bit of the einband, and you may have noticed that there's quite a bit of missing, because instead of actually you working on the things that I'm already, you know, working on and that you know, I've already started on, I rediscarded some of the plaited wool that we have here at home. We do have quite a bit just been sitting because there was something that either myself or my mother was going to work on, and then that never happened, and the wool place just sat there, and it may have had something to do with the fact that I was sick last weekend, but I came across this wool collection and I decided that I needed to make this skirt. I needed to. And I actually started on Thursday and didn't touch it yesterday. Filming this on Sunday. It is the 15th of August. So yeah, started on Thursday, did a little bit on Friday, didn't touch it on Saturday, but I got this much done. I how long is this? Because the end result is probably going to be about 50 centimeters because I don't have like long legs. So 50 centimeters is about 19 and a half inch. So we got the 50 and we turn around. Yep, about 19 and a half. A little bit more than that. But let's see. Would you be still? I know I should have measured it before. But yeah, I'm about 25 centimeters done. So that's about, so you know, halfway done with the length. Let's see. Oh, it's just under 10 inches. We're about like this line here. So, yay! Now, considering that I absolutely had to start on this skirt, it's like, I've done it before, like, this book came out in, I think 2009. Yep, 2009. And I did this skirt, yeah, it's about a decade ago. And, you know, obviously it took me a longer time back then. I don't have that skirt anymore because I donated it. I do remember that, like, okay, so in the increases here, the very first one that I did to the right side, I have this one hole and then a corresponding one on the other side. But all the others I managed to do correctly, so I'm not that fussed about these holes. It's like, whatever. I do remember that on that first skirt there was a lot more holes because, yeah, complete novice, so complete beginner, so I could not figure out how to do the increases tightly. She says. So yeah, let's see, I am almost done with the increases. I've got 3 to go, 3 rounds to go with that before I start on the gorgeous bottom. And it's just a like really, really simple, you know, lacy type of, wavy type of pattern. So yeah, really looking forward to it. And the yarn that I'm using, I'm actually holding 2 threads together. Usually it's recommended that when you're working with the plaited lope, because it's so lightly spun, it's fairly easy to break. I am not going to show you because I suck at combining the threads together. So, but yeah, so Now you got the 2 plates, and in my case I just let them stand somewhere easily within reach. Just make sure that the thread doesn't like catch on anything, so I take less risk of breaking it. And then I get paranoid. But if I'm gonna be honest, I feel like this thread has been a lot stronger than I expected it to. I expected it to break more easily, like it feels stronger than I expected. It's just kind of funny because I remember first when I was learning to knit, or starting to knit again after do the basics at school when being a kid, and my mother had me knit with plaited lope, with the plaited wool, and because it's difficult. It is definitely the more difficult of yarn that you can start with. When you're starting to knit, you can you're hard-handed, you're insecure, you're more prone to make mistakes. So, and my mother is a proponent of doing the difficult way, because the more mistakes you start with, if you start with making the mistakes, you're done making them. You know how to react. Like going from plaited lope, going through that hurdle and then having a yarn that doesn't break, it's easy. So yeah, plaited lope has always been, it's a boogeyman in my mind. Like when I'm using it, it's fine. As soon as I'm not using it, it's like, oh my god, plaited lope. But yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not embarrassed about the fact that I added yet another project to my pile. I am actually rather proud of myself for having this much done. And if I was more diligent, or had the ability to focus more, this skirt would be done. But I am the way that I am. I have a window of opportunity to focus, and then that window of opportunity simply moves. And I need to focus on something else in the meantime, so this will be done, at some point. Also, I need to finish it so it's not in my way, so this is why I call this the project pile, because I just keep heaping more projects onto this. It's like, am I done? No, more projects. I love it. But yeah, I think that's enough rambling for this week. Feeling a lot better. I'm still mystified of how I managed to catch a stomach bug being practically isolated, but there you go. So yeah, I'm actually really happy. Not just because the hopium order arrived at the time that I did, and looking at something like this, but it's like, I don't know, I'm in a better place. You just need to get horrendously sick to realize that you actually have things, things are actually pretty good. Yeah, this is me this weekend, and I will hopefully see you next weekend. I say hopefully. I hope I don't catch another bug. Shouldn't joke about that. That was horrendous. But yes, I will see you next weekend. Same as always. Okay, see you later. Bless, bless.